Hey guys, I just wanted to walk you through the configuration process. So the number of players is obviously self-explanatory. For the stack sizes, in the simple configuration, you will just click on these or be able to type. So 77 big blinds, and this will apply the same stack size to every player at the table. If you want to do variable stack sizes, you'll have to go to the Advanced tab, and I'll walk you through that later. From the Ante sizes, this is per player. So I think the most common tournament Ante size is 0.125 big blinds. But if you want to kind of abstract the game to an 8-player tree where there's like a 1 big blind ante, then you can use the 0.166. We are looking to add 8-player functionality, but it was already kind of a big enough breakthrough to get 6 players for this. So it's currently in development, but it's going to be tough, but I think we'll get there. When it comes to the open limp, that's only configurable for under 25 big blinds, and currently we are placing a minimum threshold of a minimum floor of 50 big blinds for ourselves. The reason being is currently you're only able to configure it for 1 raise size, and this is not really an issue for deeper stacks when you don't want to have multiple raise sizes. But at the shorter stack depths, like 20-30 big blinds, when say you want to like 3-bet jam ace king offsuit or ace queen offsuit, but don't want to just 3-bet jam your pocket aces, it becomes quite a detriment. So I wouldn't recommend using this for shorter stack depths until we have this multiple raise size option. But yeah, we kind of placed that minimum for that reason. You can hit rake and configure this however you like. If there are quite strange or uncommon rake structures, then I believe the outputs will not be fantastic for these. So if there are specific rake structures that you guys would really like to see, please let me know, and I'll look to add them. And straddle, toggle on and off. And with the rake, if you have a look at the new config and the post-vault functionality, you'll see that we have simplified this to just like choosing the site and the stake. So we'll have this for all major sites, and even quite a lot of apps as well. So you don't have to like look up the rake structure. When you go down to raise first in, you will be able to choose on the simple view, blinds having the same raise first in and the other positions being the same. So the raise first in also applies to, say, big blind when the small blind limps. This will be 3 point. So if the small blind limps and we configure it for a 3.5 big blind raise first in, that will make it a 3.5 x raise, not 3.5 on top of the 1 big blind. So you can do this by the presets, or you can just type whatever you like. So 2, for example. Now to the raise sizes. So 3-bet. If you don't understand these terms, 3-bet, 4-bet, 5-bet, I would recommend looking at the FAQs, and this will kind of explain how this terminology works. The difference between in position and out of position, generally you want smaller raise sizes for in position. So like these default configurations will hopefully guide you in some way, but you're able to type in whatever value you want, and this means the raise size will be reflected in percentage of the pot. So if you are inexperienced with thinking about pre-flop raise sizes in percentage of the pot, you can just have a play around and see what it would equate to in terms of like X. So 80% in position is roughly like 3.5x against like a 2.5x open, for example. We are going to add the functionality in the next version, where you're able to configure it based on like the size of the previous raise. So, you know, in position, we'll go a 3x 3-bet instead of percentage of the pot. For 4-bet, it's just all the same for all of the subsequent raise sizes, and I think that pretty much covers it for the simple. For advanced, you're able to configure stack sizes for individual players instead of just applying it to applying the same stack size to every position. This is especially going to be important when we have our post flop, because for multi-way post flop, I think the most difficult thing, or the most challenging thing to get right is getting the correct pre-flop stack sizes. So like if you're playing 100 big blind cash games, generally you will be playing a lot with the same stack size of 100 big blinds. However, in tournaments, like the variable stack sizes, the variation in stack size is quite drastic. So often you'll be opening from 20 big blinds into a 40 big blind button, a 60 big blind small blind, and a 80 big blind big blind. And I think one of the challenging things when studying multi-way is abstracting these situations to like everyone having the same stack size, or everyone in a situation like I just explained, everyone having different stack sizes, and the blocker to having to getting like good solves there is the preflop, because preflop currently takes so long with other solvers. It just takes a long time to get these preflop ranges, so it's not really economical to run all of these different preflop solves to study in depth. So I think this is something that we have done a good job in fixing. You're also able to configure the raise sizes for every street for specific positions. It means you can play around and see especially like between the small blind and the big blind. I think generally you want to have quite larger raise sizes when the big blind, as we play a much more polarized range than the small blind. So this is something that obviously the guys who are used to running these preflop solves will understand and I hope you appreciate. But if you are less experienced, I would mostly stick to the simple config. But yeah, just let us know on the Discord if you have any questions about how to configure these solves, and we're always happy to help. So 3-bet, you can choose in position, out of position for each individual position, and say you want to go back and hit 4 players instead, it'll just automatically grey them out, so there's no confusion. Again, expressed in percentage of the pot, and this is true for 4-bet, 5-bet, etc.